Hidden camera records what repairmen do while the owner is alone at home. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to m&rtv and hit the bell so you never miss any upload from us. Also, leave a like right now. Moving to a new town among all the strangers is never easy, especially when you're all alone. It is very difficult to trust someone when you're surrounded by people whom you never met. And the kind of place that this world has become, making a fool of someone is very easy. When Gwen moved to a new town all by herself, her whole perception about people changed. She faced things that were totally unimaginable, and the videos that her new house recorder gave proof of what all goes around in the name of repairing services. Next time you ask someone for any kind of service, be wary. Think twice before calling for help in your house. Gwen is an independent woman and has been living all by herself for the past 5 years. She got a new job, but it was in a different town. So this meant that Gwen would have to shift and find a new place to live. Shifting to a new town is a big task and requires a lot of courage and hard work. But Gwen had done that before and was hopeful that this time she would be able to carry forward all the shifting tasks with ease. But she was going to be betrayed in a way she would never thought of. Since Gwen has been living all by herself for so many years, she knew how people can be selfish. The ways of fooling someone in need and taking undue advantage of them is very common in today's world, and Gwen was aware of all of this. Living in this treacherous world is not easy. Gwen has seen the selfishness of people around her so many times that she was used to it now. That is why she never trusted anyone so easily and was always wary about things around her. Before Gwen could start her new job, she had to search for a new house. And as she proceeded with the search, she found the town safe and the people friendly. But she was in for the surprise of a lifetime that would change her perception altogether. The house that Gwen had rented was an old one. It required repairing, and that was what she was worried about. She knew that she was on her own, but she was always an overthinker. And what was going to happen to her would prove that she was not tensed without reason. Gwen was worried as to what she would do by herself to convert the rented house into a home. She knew no one in the new town. Moreover, her previous house was in perfect condition, and she was never bothered by any kinds of repairs. The only person that Gwen knew was a childhood friend who had been living in the same town. She called her to her house in the hopes of taking some advice from her friend as to how to carry on with the chores. Gwen wanted to be sure that she was not fooled by anyone. When her friend noticed the tension that Gwen was in, she gave her an idea. The idea would enable Gwen to be assured if the repairmen were trustworthy or not. She would come to know if the help was safe for her to be allowed working in her home when she would be all alone. Gwen's friend was not really sure if something so bad could happen while dealing with the repairmen. It was hard for her to accept that a mere repairman could be so mean and selfish and take undue advantage of Gwen's lack of information, but she also wanted her friend to be safe. To make sure that Gwen was safe, her friend shared contact with her, and this contact was going to change everything in the coming days for Gwen and a lot of other people. The contact information was of a team that was all set to help Gwen. It was questionable to think why a team of people would start to help Gwen, who was just a stranger to them. What would these people gain by helping a stranger? All of these questions arose in Gwen's mind, but her answers were all ready, even before she could question. Gwen decided to give a call to the team mentioned by her friend. Although she could not understand why and how a team could help her in her condition, she tried explaining her situation. The team, on the other hand, assured Gwen that they would help her and asked her for a meeting. At first, Gwen was a little hesitant in fixing a meeting with the team because that would bring her to square one. She did not want to meet any strangers alone, so she decided to ask her friend to stay along with her at the time she decided for the meeting. The meeting was fixed for Monday evening, and when Gwen met the team, she knew at once that they could be trusted, and the team was none other than the certified team from Inside Edition. It was a very famous news magazine, and what happened next would open the eyes of the audience of Inside Edition. The Inside Edition magazines aimed to keep its readers and viewers updated about the ongoing events around the globe, and the team would help Gwen by revealing the truth behind the repairmen by conducting secret operations with the help of Gwen herself in her own house. The Inside Edition team made a plan to install cameras in Gwen's house all over. With the help of the cameras, the team would be able to keep an eye on the functioning of the repairmen. And what they discovered with the help of their plan was quite astonishing. One question that remained was that who had given the team of Inside Edition the right to judge the services of repairmen. And that is exactly why the team does not decide whether the services are prompt and at a reasonable rate or not. A special group of people is hired who are experts in the field of those services. The team assured Gwen that they would find out the truth behind what the repairmen actually did in the name of services. They had been in the search of one such house where they could carry on with this operation. Now that Gwen's house was available, they were all set. Gwen wanted to get the service of the house's ventilators done. There was cleaning that had to be done since the house was closed for a very long time. Experts were called in to judge the repairmen who would come for the service. These experts had been in ventilator cleaning and fixing business for a very long time. Thursday was decided as the day to execute the plan. But there was one minor change in the plan. Gwen had decided that she would not be a part of the plan since she could not confront the repairmen if they were caught telling a lie. So a lady from Inside Edition was also added to the team who would pretend to be the owner of the house. A number of cameras were attached on the corners of the house and TV screens were set up to see what the camera would record. The first repairman rang the bell and the lady was all set to pretend like she was Gwen and owned the house. Gwen had called a repairman whose advertisement she saw in the newspaper. It said that the man can clean vents for just $29. The repairman said that he would reach Gwen's location in an hour, and when he came in, what the cameras caught was beyond expectation. As the two experts of the services sat behind a one-side view mirror, they saw the repairman enter the house. They saw him and felt like he would not make a fool of the owner. He did look like he was a hard-working man and earned his money by working honestly, but the repairman told the fake owner that he would like to have a look at the ventilating shaft. The lady showed him the way to the stairs. The man said he would have a look and then come and tell her about how much the service would cost. As soon as the repairman went upstairs, all eyes were set on the TV screens. While everyone was expecting him to investigate the condition of the shaft, the man was up to something else. He did not even bother looking at the shaft. Instead, he started doing something weird. The repairman picked up a pool cue that was kept on one side and started fidgeting it. The only work that he did was to play with the pool cue. He acted as if that is all that he had come there to do. All the work that he was supposed to do was forgotten. The repairman took another 10 minutes to play with the pool cue, without looking at the shaft for even a second, and after that he went downstairs and quoted the price of the service. And the price? It will make you want to jump out of your seat in astonishment. The man came downstairs and sat in front of the lady to talk to her about the price and service. Now, as the house was closed for a very long time, there was not much dust in the ventilators, and that was checked well in advance. But still, the repairman quoted $700 for cleaning services. That is when the whole team of Inside Edition came out to confront the man. They told him about the cameras and how they saw him playing with the pool cue and doing nothing else. The man started to defend himself by giving vague answers to all the questions, but it was all in vain. After the first repairman was caught, a second one was called for. He came in and started in the same way as the first one. He wanted to see the shaft, and he actually had a look into it. He said the cleaning would cost $234. Since his rate seemed reasonable, the team decided to let him go ahead with his work. But everything is not how it seems to be. As soon as he started working and saw that no one was present to observe what he was doing, he started with his plan of making the customer a fool. He got a huge cleaning machine with him, which, according to experts, was not even required. This repairman was just cleaning the vents from the outside with a very small pipe. He did not even bother to remove the covers of the ventilator. And when he saw the homeowner noticing his work in the hall, he started pretending to clean the vent with the big machine. Gwen had always been doubtful when it came to trusting strangers for work. She had been deceived once already, when she was charged a hefty amount for a very minor service. And it was not just the cost, even things from the house were stolen by the repairman. That is why she didn't want to take a chance this time. And the true face of these repairmen came out on the camera with the help of the lady who pretended to be Gwen. She was an expert, and that was why the repairman could not sense anything about what was going on in the house to catch them red-handed. When the Inside Edition team was preparing for the operation and setting up the place, the neighbors started questioning. No one could understand what was going on and why so many people were doing the rounds of Gwen's house. The team told them that they were installing cameras in the house. The conclusion came out to be that these repairmen can turn out to be very good at fooling the customer. They act like they are experts and know everything when in reality they just want the money and not to do any work at all. Next time, before you hire someone for any service, be wary. Do not trust anyone until and unless you are sure about the work that they do. There could be a chance that you pay a huge amount for a service that you did not even receive in its proper sense. Always gather all the information you can. But that does not mean that you should doubt every person and never trust any repairman. There are people who work honestly and earn their bread by working hard and fairly. You just need to stay careful about who is working in your house and what are they exactly up to. The Inside Edition has been a really trustworthy and useful channel and magazine that has made its audiences aware of a lot of things. It has revealed many such pretentious frauds who make a fool of the customer. There is a lot we can learn from the real-life incidents that the channel forecasts.